Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources. Updating daily at 6 a.m. New York.
Mirror World News.
October 4th, 5:09 America, New York. Breaking: U.S. launches 2 munition bombs in response to North Korea firing missile over Japan. We'll be bringing you the very latest updates, pictures and video on this breaking news story.
BBC News World.
October 4th, 5:07 America, New York. Ukraine war. Lyman retreat sparks rare criticism of Russian top brass. Some pro-war Russians are tiring of what they perceive to be an overly cautious military leadership.
RT World News.
October 4th, 5:06 America, New York. Italy ramps up surveillance of underwater cables, media. The move comes in response to sabotage on the Nord Stream pipelines. An official told Reuters the Italian government has strengthened surveillance and controls on underwater energy and telecommunications cables off its shores, a source close to the matter told Reuters on Tuesday.
New York Times World News. October 4th, 5 o'clock America, New York. What video footage reveals about the protests in Iran? The New York Times analyzed dozens of videos circulating online for insights about what is propelling the demonstrations, and how women are leading the movement. New York Times World News.
October 4th, 5 o'clock America, New York. Russia's war in Ukraine sends Swedish Marines into the arms of NATO. Russia's war in Ukraine has sent Marines from famously neutral Sweden into the arms of NATO, where they have begun working with American forces. American and Swedish Marines participating in a military exercise near Bergen Naval Base in Sweden.
Washington Post World.
October 4th, 4:54 America, New York. Swedes close area of Baltic Sea around pipeline gas leaks. The Swedish prosecutor in charge of the investigation into leaks from pipelines in the Baltic Sea said Tuesday that he has ordered the area to be closed as he carries out a preliminary investigation into suspected gross sabotage.
New York Times World News. October 4th, 4:48 America, New York. Nobel Prize in Physics to be awarded today. The second Nobel announced this year will be presented by the Royal Swedish Academy of Sciences in Stockholm. Replicas of the Nobel Prize medals on display at the Norwegian Nobel Institute in Oslo.
Mirror World News.
October 4th, 4:38 America, New York. Brit couple brutally murdered and bodies thrown to crocodiles by gang in South Africa. It is believed the couple were beaten to death with a blunt instrument after being kidnapped, then their bodies were thrown off a bridge into the river.
The Washington Times Stories. Advocacy.
October 4th, 4:32 America, New York. Live updates. Russia-Ukraine war. The upper house of the Russian parliament has ratified the treaties with 4 Ukrainian regions to absorb them into Russia.
RT World News.
October 4th, 3:35 America, New York. Biden privately confirms intention to run for second term, NBC. I'm going to do it again, the U.S. president told Reverend Al Sharpton. According to the network, Joe Biden told Reverend Al Sharpton in a private conversation last month that he intends to run for the U.S. presidency again in 2024, NBC has reported.
BBC News World.
October 4th, 3:30 America, New York. Indonesia football crush. Cries for justice as families mourn dead. A teenager who died at the Indonesian football stadium crush is mourned, as families demand justice.
Washington Post World.
October 4th, 2:34 America, New York. Iran says it launched test tug into suborbital space. Iran says it has launched a test tug into suborbital space.
Fox World News.
October 4th, 2 o'clock America, New York. Who is Brazil's socialist, ex-con candidate for president? Lula won 48% in Brazil's election despite convictions for corruption and accusations of being mastermind of a kickback and bribery scheme involving some of Brazil's largest companies.
Washington Post World.
October 4th, 2 o'clock America, New York. At a tea shop for Myanmar exiles, rebels at the counter, revolution in the air. 6 miles from the Thai-Myanmar border, a tea shop has become a haven for rebels on the run.
BBC News World.
October 4th, 1:50 America, New York. Australia vows new plan to stop extinction crisis. New strategies aim to end Australia's status as the mammal extinction capital, its government says. Mirror World News. October 4th, 1:50 America, New York. Man shot dead near primary school as 5 armed attackers still at large. A man was shot dead in Brisbane after approaching an armed group of 4 men and a woman who had reportedly gone into a house and started to attack a person inside. World News. Breaking international news and headlines, Sky News.
October 4. 038 America, New York. 4 women selected to live and work in remote part of Antarctica with colony of penguins. 4 women are to give up their home comforts to live and work in a remote part of Antarctica. Port Lacroix, Goudier Island, Antarctica.
Time. October 4. 021 America, New York. Australia pledges no new extinctions over next decade. Australia has committed to preventing any animal or plant extinctions in the coming decade under a new environmental protection plan, as the government aims to reverse widespread degradation.